Welcome to Xavier Fox Talks, and of course, I am your host, Xavier Fox.
House. Right. Come on, man.
Right.
No, he can't be fixing, man. He can't come pick you up from the hairdresser. Right. No, and no.
Right.
No man is supposed to come through and fix your heart or your relationship. He has to go out your life, out your mind, out your heart. And if he's not, you have to do something about that. Sorry. Here's another one: is that a lot of women expect men to take them on these lavish vacations and dates and every single weekend. It don't work like that. There are other ways that you can spend creatively time with him. A man's not going to spend his whole checkbook on you every single week. I think
he has a mortgage.
He has a mortgage. All that stuff. Come on now. And you can't go to Miami every weekend. Right. This is good. This is a good weekend to be in Miami. Right. But not every weekend.
And you know what? And that's let me bring one point real quick. I'll let you get. And that's very pertinent point that you made. And I wish that this panel was a little bit more broad and we had maybe some other cultures up here. Because with us, obviously, a lot of us don't have it, from a monetary standpoint to take you on these type of trips. Where, say, our white counterparts, I mean, the white guy that maybe working corporate, maybe, he owns some property. And then I've heard women, make these type of statements that, yeah, I was dating this white guy and, he did this, this, and this. And my mother had a white guy. And he was, he was making $20,000, $30,000 a month in his own business, and he would come pick my mom up and take her to lunch every day. And he, the washer and dryer that we have at the house now, he bought. When I went off to college, he took me because my father didn't. So, we can have a broader conversation about where a lot of this stuff is coming from. But I think that was important that you brought that up.
I don't even think it necessarily have to do anything with how much money he got, though, because you're putting. This is not a 50-cent video. Right. We're not gonna be throwing money in the air everywhere we at. It doesn't work. That's not showing. That's not a realistic life. Right. A life that should be enjoyed. That is a mutual exchange. Okay. You're not a hooker or a prostitute. You shouldn't be expecting a man to be lavishing you with gifts and money.
Taking it to Nan restaurant and downtown.
You can sit in the park and have a picnic. It's romantic things to do outside of spending $500 on a meal or sitting $1,000 in VIP in some club.
Right. Well, if you're doing all that, you're just not creative.
Sure. What was
okay. So if I was just to spend money, then you're not really thinking. You know what can I actually do? Like you said, a picnic. You actually have to think about that. But to just go, oh, let's go here. I'll spend some money. That's too easy.
So what I was going to say, unrealistic expectations that women may have of men is to expect the man to know her worth just because she put on high heels and dress nice. Mm-hmm. So you meet a woman, and just because she's a woman, and just because she's attractive, and just because you say something to her, that you're supposed to automatically put her on a certain. I mean, you put her on a pedestal, but that woman expect you to know her worth just because she's a woman. So I think the expectation comes that, hey, you're supposed to do this, that, and that for me just because I'm a woman and you're a man. And that becomes very unrealistic because now I don't know you, but if you were my wife, because of the time that we spend, because of the things that we went through, then there's going to be certain things that I would do for you. Don't expect me to treat you as a wife. Yeah. And you just someone I'm just knowing. You just somebody I'm just dating. It's so unrealistic for you to expect to be treated as a wife.
A lot of women expect that.
That's the most unrealistic expectation.
That's absolutely correct. Exactly. This all actually ties in about doing certain things. You want a man to do certain things for you, but you're not gonna come over here and cook my dinner. You're not gonna wash my clothes. Right. You're not gonna give me head every morning.
I've told
Come
women,
on, man.
I've told many women, you ain't earned that.
Exactly.
And they look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm dead serious. You haven't earned that.
Right.
What have you done? What have you done to earn that?
What kind of request do you get?
Huh?
What kind of request do you get or have gotten?
Shit, when we going out to dinner? No, when you cooking.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When are you cooking? Give me a reason to want to take you out to eat, not just because you say you're hungry.
I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I know y'all be like, I can't be finding myself saying, hey, when we going on a trip, and we're not in a relationship, you talk to me about going on a trip. This is what I do with. That's somebody I'm with. Right. I'm with someone I'm committed to. So don't expect me to always treat you. because this is what I'm gonna do with my family.
Right,
Don't
right,
expect me to, you know. I mean, it's just like I say. I think that we have to sometimes be very realistic. And just because I'm a man and you're a woman, and just because you feel that I want your physical attachments, doesn't mean that I'm dumbfounded.
Right.
And that I'm just like, you can just have. I'm just gonna do whatever whatever I need to do to get with you. That's just so unrealistic.
I should have had me a couple of shots before I came in here, so I can get a raw form. Let's go back to the one that we were all talking about before we started taping, which was: is it unrealistic for a woman to pay? What we talking on the? If you ask us out, or you make the gesture, say, "Hey, let's go out," and I say, "Okay," I'm gonna assume that you are paying. If I ask you, then that means I got money in my pocket. I'm gonna pay. So, what was our argument?
Well, let me go here, because I mean, I thought that you all did a great job. I mean, as far as your question, I think y'all did a pretty good job answering all that, because I think it really much encompasses everything that really, as far as your expectations. But unrealistic, and I think you touched on it a little bit, but just to say it straightforward is, don't expect me to do anything for you that you won't do for me.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Period. Point blank. You know, if you want to go out, if you want to go to the islands, you know, I ain't got no problem taking you to the islands.
But
it's gonna be Stony Island.
Then the argument
You're gonna ride over the Blue Island.
then the argument is gonna be, but you the man. So
you know what? You know what?
You the head. You supposed to.
If you ain't my wife,
you petitioning me.
If you're not my wife, right? If that what it takes, then I won't be there.
Okay.
If you ain't my wife, I don't have you don't have no ring on your finger from me. Then those same expectations that you have from me as a man, I won't. You know, I'm gonna expect you to do the same thing that a woman. If depending on what you consider a woman supposed to do. You know, if we back in the day and be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen. No, we're in 2011.
Right.
You know,
and just to say that real quick, because then it's gonna be that woman say, well, don't be having no expectation that I'm cook dinner for you. That's not an unreal expectation, because guess what? You cooking dinner for your own self.
You gotta eat anyway.
You know, you gotta eat.
and I mean,
What's wrong with putting that extra chicken?
Now, a lot of women say that. I hear a lot of women say, I don't cook.
So we shouldn't.
I don't have a maid or something cook for me.
So we shouldn't equivocate one for the other.
No, I mean,
because you know that argument.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you like
she gonna say, well, if you ain't doing this, then I'm not gonna do this.
You know what?
And here we are. And what we're doing is we're weighing one with the other. We're saying, okay, this over here is worth this over here. They don't look at it like that.
No, I'm not saying even like this. I'm like this. If a woman is doing what I know she's going out of her way to do for me. Just because she takes me out to dinner, I mean I necessarily got to take her out to dinner. But then, I mean, if I do choose to do something else different, then I'm like, okay, I like the way she did this. She's doing for me. She opens her heart. She's fair. She's balanced. I know she got me, you know, in her mind. Right? You know, so it doesn't mean it's going tit for tat. We're not equivocating like that. It's just that I'm not going to expect you to do anything for me that I don't think that you would do. And I don't expect you to do anything for me if I don't think I would do it for you. You know, the same way back and forth, period. And you can tell. You can tell. Wait a minute, hold on. You where? Your car broke down and you where? In Bolingbrook. You ain't call your daddy? You know what I mean?
That's interesting, because I had women that, you know, would want me to do things, and then when I wanted to ask it of them, they couldn't do it, or they wouldn't do it.
And you have that vibe. I mean, sometimes you find out the hard way.
Right.
Like, damn, you really can't do that for me?
Right.
I mean, come on, good. All you doing is co-signing a car, you know?
And nowadays you can But yeah, so what I was talking about, what we were talking about before we started taping. So is it unreal, unrealistic for men to expect women to pay on dates? Because that's
no.
Women always ask.
I mean, you know what? I think like even Scooby said, we were talking about earlier when we were saying, hey, look, if a woman asks me to go out, yes, and I think if you ask me to go out, it should be on your dime. Now, when we get there, we get through eating. I might, like you said, I might wait to see you reaching in your purse, your body grab that car.
I'm gonna see if you real.
Right, and me personally, you know, the way I am, you know, hey, I always feel like it's the man thing to do. You know, that's just my nature. Is just always to be like, okay, I know you asked me out, but let me go ahead. I got this. You know, and average, I don't want to say a real woman, but a real mature woman that's really about it, it would be like, no, I said I asked you out, I got this.
Yes.
Right.
But you're only gonna say, no, I got this.
Again.
Right. They say, okay, I got this. And I said, no, I got it. No, I got it. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this
That's
now.
it. You got
I have a younger sister. My younger sister, she told me like this because I was dating a female, and I was just taking her out. I was on that what's that called the little coupon thing where you get the meal.
What, Groupon?
Not just like living social. And I was catching good deals, half price. Man, I'm getting my eat on different rates. Like, come on, girl, I ain't had no problem. Look, I tell them firsthand, hey, I got these coupons. No, because I ain't want to get down there and be trying to, hey, dog. I ain't trying to sound like. So when I'm on the phone with, I'm like, look, hey, I just caught a deal on, living social. This is a little half price. I got a little half price. You want to go out and eat here? I tell them in the door. And then I call the restaurant. So the restaurant, like, look, it's all good. I don't want no problem. So I took the female out. We went out for about a good 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying? We going out, and I said to him, I told her, like, you dating something? I'm saying, she all right. She's nice, real looking. Got a little, nurse doing her thing. Working on some medical stuff. And she was just like, has she treated you anyway? I'm like, no. She said, has she offered to do anything? I'm like, well, no. And my sister straight up said, you might have to let her go. Because, and what I guess it is, you have to, I think, have to see a point where, what else is she doing for me besides just looking good with me?
Right.
Because when I really thought about it, all she did was, great body, look good, and
right.
But she ain't gave anything in good conversation.
So she didn't have any substance then?
I ain't gonna say she didn't have substance. She just
didn't extend herself.
She didn't extend it to where she didn't make that offer to do.
She didn't do that one time. Said, no, babe,
look,
I'll take care of this.
Right, exactly. And I'm a brother. I cook. I love being in the kitchen. And I would cook. I made some meals. And she came over, enjoyed the meal. Not once was I invited to come get a meal. Not once was I invited to go take out. And she wasn't the one for me. And eventually it wasn't, obviously. And so I think, again, the unrealistic is really just straightforward. Just when you expect something from somebody, you should be able to be willing to be that person that would do the same, if not more, for them. But don't do it with an expectation
of them doing
something for you.
Just do it, and do it out of your heart.
Right, and do what you feel. Exactly. But if you
don't expect.
Right, but you got some women that would do it and be like, I did this for you, you should do this for me.
Right.
Wrong. Well, my name is Xavia Pope. I'm an attorney, the principal owner of the Pope firm. I also have a blog, X Post Facto, on Chicago Now. And my question is, what do women do to push men away? I think that what women do to push men away, we already talked about this several different times, and about fixing the heart and things of that nature. But I also think that women, the communication aspect, I think that women aren't forthright with what they really want out of a relationship, how they want with a man. And sometimes that doesn't manifest in the beginning of a relationship. They kind of hold it back a little bit. And then as the relationship progresses, they have these expectations and different things they want. And then when it doesn't actually come out what they want, then they start turning and changing into a different person, this person that they really, really was in the beginning. And they turn into that person, and then the man's like, wow, this is dating the beginning of this relationship. Where did she go? And then you don't feel like you know this person anymore. And then the man is like, well, you're not who I courted. I got to get out of here and find a woman that I thought that I was courting.
I like the part where it's like, when you got these sisters that they look at their girls and they look at those relationships.
Comparisons.
And they do comparisons.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden, because this brother right here want to read stories to his girl, and he making up stories for them. They role playing and everything. Okay.
Like I'm supposed to role play.
I ain't got no problem role playing. But what I'm saying is, your relationship is exactly that. Your relationship. Yeah. Don't judge it. Okay, yeah, they happy in their relationship from what we see on that, that physical outside, and don't compare it to your ex. Don't say, what you done seen on the soap opera,
Yes.
Roxy, I see you.
This girl
somebody what you want to be called by.
Xavier Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X.